Picture this. It's 400 BC, in Athens. Socrates is sitting in the marketplace, annoying everyone with questions like what is justice? And how do you really know that? Fast forward 2,400 years, and now we've got ChatGPT doing basically the same thing, except it's polite about it, and doesn't make you question your entire existence. Usually, I'm Charlie, and today we're throwing the ultimate philosophical smackdown. Can artificial intelligence actually teach us to think? Or are we just outsourcing our brains to very confident calculators? In the blue corner, weighing in at 0 pounds because he's been dead for over 2 millennia, we have Socrates, the original gadfly of Athens, the man who made I know that I know nothing sound profound, instead of like something you'd say after failing a pop quiz. Animated Socrates. Tell me, young Charlie, what is thinking? Oh great, he's already started. Socrates was basically the world's first life coach. Except instead of motivating you, he'd systematically destroy every belief you held dear, until you had an existential crisis in the middle of buying olives. And in the red corner, running on more electricity than a small city, we have ChatGPT and friends, the AI that can write your essays, debug your code, and somehow always sounds like that one friend who read Wikipedia for 5 minutes, and now thinks they're an expert. But here's the thing, both of these intellectual heavyweights claim they can make us better thinkers. Socrates did it by asking questions that made your brain hurt. AI does it by, well, that's what we're here to figure out. The real question isn't whether AI is smarter than Socrates. That's like asking if a calculator is better at math than Einstein. The question is, can either of them actually teach us to think for ourselves? Or are we just really good at following instructions? Let's start with Socrates. This guy invented what we call the Socratic method, which is basically intellectual warfare disguised as friendly conversation. He'd walk up to some poor Athenian and be like, "Hey, you seem confident about justice. Define it." Animated Athenian, justice is being good. Animated Socrates, but what is good? And who decides? And how do you know they're right to decide? Animated Athenian, I need to lie down. The beautiful thing about the Socratic method is that it doesn't give you answers. It teaches you to ask better questions. It's like CrossFit for your brain, except instead of getting ripped, you get existentially confused. Now let's see how our digital friend handles this. ChatGPT, what is justice? ChatGPT text. Justice is a complex philosophical concept that can be understood as fairness, righteousness, or the proper administration of law. Different philosophical traditions offer varying definitions, double quotes, see the difference. Socrates would spend 3 hours making you realize you don't know what you're talking about. ChatGPT gives you a perfectly reasonable answer that sounds like it was written by a very polite encyclopedia. But here's where it gets interesting. Modern AI isn't just giving us answers, it's changing how we think about thinking itself. When you can ask an AI to solve complex problems, write code, or even generate creative content, what happens to our own problem-solving muscles? It's like having a GPS for your brain. Sure, you get where you're going faster, but do you actually learn the route? And what happens when the GPS breaks down and you're standing in the middle of intellectual nowhere, wondering how you got there? Here's where things get weird. Socrates famously said his wisdom came from knowing that he didn't know anything. It's like intellectual humility turned up to 11. He was basically the philosophical equivalent of that person who says, "I'm not sure," when they actually know the answer. Animated Socrates. I cannot teach anyone anything. I can only make them think. Meanwhile, AI is trained on basically everything humans have ever written, but it doesn't actually know any of it in the way we understand knowledge. It's like having a library card for all human knowledge. But the library is in a language you don't speak, and the card belongs to someone else. But here's the plot twist. Maybe that's exactly what makes AI a good thinking partner. It doesn't have ego, doesn't get defensive, and doesn't care if you ask it the same question 50 different ways. It's like having Socrates, but without the smugness and the sandals. Let me show you what I mean. ChatGPT, I think you're just an advanced autocomplete function. Prove me wrong. ChatGPT text. That's an interesting perspective. You're right that I do predict text based on patterns, but the question is whether the patterns I've learned allow for something resembling understanding. Charlie, see, it's not getting offended or trying to prove its intelligence. It's actually engaging with the critique. That's very Socratic, actually. It's making me think about what understanding really means. So, can AI teach us to think? Well, that depends on what you mean by teach and what you mean by think. And yes, I just pulled a Socrates on you. The truth is, both Socrates and AI can be incredible tools for developing our thinking, but only if we use them right. Socrates teaches us to question everything, especially our own assumptions. I can help us explore ideas, challenge our reasoning, and access information we'd never find on our own. But here's the catch. Neither of them can actually think for us. Socrates knew this. He called himself a midwife for ideas, helping people give birth to thoughts they already had. AI, at its best, might be doing something similar, not replacing our thinking, but helping us organize it, challenge it, and expand it. The danger comes when we stop doing the work ourselves. If you use AI like Socrates used questions as a way to dig deeper into your own thinking, then yeah, it can make you a better thinker. But if you use it like a magic answer machine, you might end up like those Athenians who avoided Socrates because they didn't want to deal with hard questions. So here's my take. Socrates versus ChatGPT isn't really a competition. It's more like a collaboration across 2,400 years. Both of them remind us that good thinking isn't about having all the answers, it's about asking better questions and being willing to sit with uncertainty. The real question isn't whether AI can teach us to think, it's whether we're brave enough to keep thinking for ourselves in a world where we don't have to. And honestly, that's a question worthy of Socrates himself. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and remember, the unexamined YouTube video is not worth watching. I'm Charlie. This is Charlie Talks Global, and I'll see you next time when we explore why Finnish people are so happy. Spoiler alert, it's not just the saunas.